Good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you once again to the PTWWN Network. I am Pastor JANIE Dees of the Plum Line Ministry Talk Show. What we were trying to do today, I know it's been a minute since we have been on the air and we did any taping, a lot due with COVID and other things that have occurred within our life. But we know that this month is a month that we're not celebrating, but this is the month that we are ordering two big occasions. And one of them is breast cancer, and one is domestic violence. I will be talking to you today about domestic violence. Being a survivor of domestic violence, I want to iterate and let you know that that is not a joke. It's not anything to play around with. It's not nothing for you not to believe. Many of us may not go through the same degree as some of us did, but I can tell you, it's really mind-blowing, mind-captivating, as well as your soul. One thing I've learned about domestic violence and going through domestic violence is really a control issue. It's really somebody stronger feeling as if though that they can take advantage of someone that is weaker. A lot of time our weakness is not weakness, but our weakness actually is meekness. Because we're trying to love the individual that we believe so strongly and so highly love us. But as times go on and you living with that individual and things change, maybe the job situation change, or maybe they cannot afford to take care of their family like they want to, and you see changes in their personality. My advice is do not ignore those changes. If you have someone in your life and they've gone from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde, then please take heed to the warning. Do not think that that's just going to be a one-time hit or a one-time beating, because I promise you it will come back again. I've learned that the biggest lie that has been being told about being in domestic violence is one that is being said that I love you. You cannot believe that would be love. You got to go to your Bible. And God has given us a description and telling us what love is and how we should love one another. Love is kind. Love is gentle. Love is caring. Love is giving peace, and love is sharing. Love is not beating and bringing on hurt and pain, and love is not trying to control another individual. You can love, but make sure in loving anybody, you know how it is to love God, and you know mostly how to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, that's how it's easy for that individual to come in and take control over your life. If you suffer any kind of abuse, any kind of abandonment, any kind of neglect, then you're subject to fall with somebody that comes to convince you and fill that void in your life. That void cannot be filled by them. They see you as a piece of property. They see you as something that they control and they can manage to bring into line to doing and accepting anything they say and anything they want from you. My abuser would tell me when he was going to come and when he was going to abuse me. I thought, when I first heard it, I thought it was a joke. I literally laughed. I said, this man is my husband. He's not going to hurt me the way he said he was. And I did not believe it. The night passed on, the next day rose. And I was lying in the bed. And this man came and told me that he was going to beat me. I didn't believe him. I'm telling you with all my heart, I did not believe him. Until he rendered the first punch. And when he rendered the first punch, that I had to wake up from that daze and realize I'm in a situation. I tried running. I tried running to every room in that house, and I promise you, if I had pictures of that room, there's not a doorknob that is on, no door in that room. My abuser got to the point where he felt like he needed to have even more control over me. So what he did next, he board locked the doors and he board locked the windows so that I couldn't get in. I was like a caged animal. Nothing that I could do. I couldn't escape, but I had to serve him and do everything he asked of me to do. And some of those things was not pleasant. They were not godly and it was not of God. But when you rock with a surprise and you wake up and somebody beating on you, you're not really focused on the who and what you are and what it's about. You're trying to escape and get away. Just to find out there is no getting away. He would tell me he doing it because he loved me. And at that particular time, because I was lonely in my life and I came from not just domestic abuse, but I came from other abuse situations in my life, I believed him. Because I was looking for somebody to love me for me, to accept me for me. So when he said those words, then I overlooked what was happening to me and I believed him that he loved me. I want to tell you that it got so bad that he beat me even while I was pregnant with my child. I was being thrown into a wall and I was being told that it was love. I was being raped daily and being told that it was love. I was being beaten daily and being told that it was love. Young ladies and young men, I want to tell you that is not love. That is somebody beating you into submission to being what they want you to be and how they want you to be. See, a lot of times we look and we think that yes, this is for the woman, but it's not just for the woman. Men are being abused as well. Children are being abused. Babies are being abused. That's why in honoring domestic violence this month, look around your home, check your children, and making sure that they have a voice, that they're not afraid to speak and speak out against anything that is harmful and hurting to them. You have to take your voice back. You have to let them know that there is nothing right about this. God didn't make it to be like that. God told us about loving one another as he has loved us. God's love didn't beat us down. God's love didn't beat us into submission. God's love sent his only begotten Son on the cross to die for sin of ours that he had nothing to do with. That's why I'm here before you today. As a domestic violence survivor, sometimes we keep quiet when we don't need to keep quiet. Sometimes we do it because we don't want family members to know what is going on because they already have certain opinions about us. Some family members might even say, you're getting what you deserve, but you're not getting what you deserve because that's not why God had you birthed into this world for someone to beat on you and take advantage of you. Don't let nobody convince you that you deserve a beating, that you deserve another human being beaten and taking away your rights of liberty to live and be free. There's nothing right about that. Don't let them tell you that you deserve that. Don't let anyone tell you who's beating on you in such a degree that that's love. That is not a form of love. God is the perfect demonstrator to us of love. If you had loving parents, then you know what love is. If you had a loving friend that cared about you and know about you, then you know what love is. And you know that's not love. Young ladies, we accept so much in our lives to have a man in our life. Because the thought of being lonely is just too much for some of us. But sometimes we're better off alone than we are with someone taking advantage. I heard it being said, lonely by myself is one thing, but I'm the loneliest when I am in a crowd. You are the loneliest When you with that person that you love so dearly, but not loving you back, but you reaping for that love. You giving up all of yourself to get that kind of love. It is not love. It is abuse. Domestic violence kills. Domestic violence maim. Domestic violence bruise. Domestic violence take away your mental capacity. Domestic violence send you in a tailspin, some of us running for our lives in order to be able to save our lives. This is what domestic violence does. It strips you of your right and your liberty. It takes us away so that someone else can have that power. Some of us, we escape and we thank God daily, because I am one of those. And there are some that won't. There's some that won't leave. And it's not because they can't leave, but they look around and feel that this is all that I got. If he's providing a roof on my head and food on my table and clothes on my back and taking care of my children, then what is a little abuse? Well, that little abuse that you're suffering. And if your children are watching you suffering that abuse, then you have to know that they're going to grow up in that same pattern. We're trying to stop domestic violence. And how we stop domestic violence, we got to teach our young men and our young women that it doesn't take the fist, but it takes compassion. It takes love and understanding. It takes getting help when you need help. We have to spread that word. That's the word we have to give to our young men who come up and watch their fathers being abusers, and young women who watch their mothers being abusers. We have to change that, because if we don't change that, we will not change our young men and young women out on the street doing the things that they do and not knowing how to accept true love. It robs you of that. It robs you of knowing what true love really is. So when that person comes around you and they want to give you that and they want to show you what true love is, you can't receive it and you cannot accept it, because somebody has done beat you down so much that you would take that little bit and say it's love, and you'll run with that. That was not God's plan for your life. Never was, never has been, and never will be. God never intended for that to be. So if you find yourself in a domestic situation, find your way to get help. There's a lot of places out there where you can go and you can escape and you can get help. Find that family member that trusts in you and believes in you. Share with somebody what you're going through daily, in and out. Just don't sit there and take your abuse inwardly and feel like no one cares and this is only you, but it's not only you that is going through that. Others are going through that too, and 9 times out of 10, your children are going to go through it. Your daughters will go out there and find her a man that's going to beat on her, and she will think that love. Your son will find him a woman that'll be on him, and he would think that love. And someone, when they're tired and they feel like I'm not going to take it from nobody anyway, they turn to violence. They turn to the streets. They turn to drugs. They turn to prostitution. They turn to everything, because during the domestic violence situation, we are not teaching and telling them about turning to God. We don't share that. We got to teach them while they're young, like the Bible says. So if they go astray, they know how to get back. We got to teach them what the Bible tells us. By his stripes, he said that we are healed. And even that domestic violence situation that you are going through, don't you know he carried that to the cross as well? Knowing that you can survive it and get away from it. Your abuser wants to put fear inside you so that you do not seek help and you do not get that help, because he's afraid that he himself when there's nothing else to control, and he does not know how to control himself. He needs you to help him feel the way he needs to feel, and that's empower. Because somewhere down the line, your abuser is abusing his own self. Someone abused him. If you look at it and you talk about it and you seek it out and you search, you will see that abuser comes from abuse. We have to stop that. Ministers, pastors, apostles, preachers, whatever you are, mother, father, sister, uncle, cousin, whatever you are, if you know somebody in those kind of situations, those domestic violence situations, talk to them, try to reason with them. Try to get them to see and understand. I know we will not be able to save everybody and get everybody to turn and walk away from the abuser, but if we can get one, we can save those children. We have to do more. We have to reach out more. It's something to feel like a human being by being kept like a caged animal. You can't move. You can't think for yourself because that is being taken away from you. Your abuser wants you to think and breathe him day in and day out. Doesn't want you to have the mindset to think that I can go on beyond this point. That's not to his benefit or to her benefit. The only person that gains from domestic violence is the person that is doing the abusing. And they are doing it. As I said before, because somewhere down the line, they have been abused. We don't talk much about what happens to make our young people, and even some of our older people, go through abuse. They're lying to themselves when they tell themselves that it's all right. We can lie to others. We can lie about others. But when you are lying to yourself about the situation that you're in so that you don't get the help that you need, then the biggest liar that you are lying to is you. You have the power to change. I know some of you saying that I tried to get away, but he's threatened to kill me and take my life if I leave him. And then you can go and you can witness and see how many women have really lost their lives to their abuser. That's why I'm saying to you, at the first sign of being abused, don't wait around and see whether it's real. Don't wait around and see whether he means what he said or she said. That's what I did. I waited around to see whether or not he was really real, because I just couldn't believe that somebody who said that they loved me and married me and I'm carrying a child would do such hideous things to me. That's why the biggest lie is the one that he tells you he loves you, and the other biggest lie is when you tell yourself that that is the truth. That is not the truth. You must love yourself. You must not stick around to see whether or not he's going to do it again. Don't give in to the flowers and the candies or taking you out on another date and try and saying to you that I'm sorry. The makeup that he may want to try and do Don't give in to that. Because the minute you do and step out of line, he's going to revert back. And it'll start all back over again. And he'll start apologizing to you over again. But if you watch it each time, it gets a little harder. The beating get a little worse than it get before. Then you find yourself covering up bruises and marks and hiding from your family and your friends. Lying about you can't go out and you can't go there because you don't want them to see what you already know and you're already ashamed of. Don't take on the shame and don't take on the blame because it's not yours. You have nothing to do with how he thinks, but he will tell you that you caused him to do it. He will tell you that you did something to aggravate him, to make him mad. Maybe you didn't cook his dinner right. Maybe you didn't run the bath water. Or maybe you didn't tend to a child. The child was making too much noise. Or maybe he was watching a ball game, Super Bowl, or whatever that was on. Whatever the reason may be, you do not deserve to be hit or to be beat. No excuse for that. There is no excuse for that. If you wanted to do something, then walk away. Don't turn around and beat someone into submission, into fear, and run for their lives. Abusers, we know that you had to be abused. And if you've been abused, look back and see and make peace, or go back and find your abuser. Find out why they abused you. Find out what it was that they felt the need to do that, for you to spread that kind of energy on in your family. Look it up and you search it. You know that an abuser had been abused himself. Look out for your children so that you can stop that disease. So you can stop that generational curse. So you can stop the lying about what love is when you know that it's not love. Think well of yourself. Think better of yourself. Feel that you deserve to live life free as God has given it to you. You didn't come into this world for somebody to do the things that he do, so don't let somebody take you out for doing the things that they chose to do to you. Some of us are blessed, and I thank God every day. I didn't tell my story much because I felt I needed to keep it because I did not want to hurt certain families' feelings. And I knew certain family did not believe me anyhow. So I felt that I needed to keep it on the wrap. But I'm not keeping it on the wrap no more. Because as I said, abuse is generational. What you don't think your children see and know, they know. And they're going to mimic you. If mama abused and don't walk away and step out and show courage, then that child is going to do just as you do. I truly want to thank you for joining the Plumline Ministry. I want to thank the PTWWN Network for giving us this opportunity to come before you. And until we meet again, I'm saying God bless you and keep you. In Jesus' name, amen.